Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to Cabinet this evening. Can we start with, have we got any apologies for absence, please?
Yes, Chairman, we've got apologies from Councillor Callaghan.
Any declarations of interest?
Member of Essex County Council.
Same, ditto.
Thank you, councillors. I presume that you've all had the opportunity to read the minutes from the last meeting. Can we please have a show of hands so that they are an accurate record from the last meeting? Thank you. We're now moving on to the Cabinet members' decision records, which is item agenda 4. There are 21 and 22 on the agenda. Any questions there? Councillor Baggett, have you got any questions from there? Excellent. Just note, yep, they're for noting. We can move on. Cabinet member updates. Does any Cabinet member wish to make an update announcement at this time? Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to just give a brief update to Cabinet tonight on activities that have taken place within the Culture, Sport and Community Brief. Members will be aware that over the coming weeks we are launching the area committees. These were passed at the Cabinet meeting that took place at the end of July. Significant work has gone on over the last few weeks, and I want to thank our officers for their work in establishing and doing lots of work in setting the governance arrangements for all the area committees to be able to take place. Just want to remind members and members of the public that the area committees have been established to be able to give all 42 members of this council a say in decisions that actually take place and represent and allow them to represent their wards and be able to invest in particular priorities, community initiatives or groups that are taking place within their particular wards, representing a real shift of power and opportunity for all members to be involved in decision making of the authority. There was another area committee chairs briefing that took place on Tuesday evening, and I want to thank all members and all chairs from all parties that were involved in those meetings and vice chairs that were also able to attend in those meetings for their involvement in the area committees, and look forward to the area committee meetings starting over the coming weeks and making a real difference to our wards. I also want to be able to update members tonight on, as this is our first Cabinet meeting that's taken place since the Find Your Active Festival that took place on the 21st of September at the Basden Sporting Village. The Find Your Active Festival was the end of our Summer of Sport campaign that was a real highlight and lots of hive activity that took place over the summer period. The Find Your Active Festival was enjoyed by hundreds of residents across the borough, being able to meet different providers, activity providers and organisations across the borough. Like I said, the Find Your Active Festival was the end of our 9-week Summer of Sport campaign, and as I said at full council, we had record attendances across all of our activities, working with our partners during those Summer of Sport programmes. The real test of the Summer of Sport, though, is making sure that that level of activity continues over the winter months, and look forward to working with our community groups to be able to make that happen, review and evaluate. And we've already had organisations approach us, ensuring that we're running the campaign for next year, and look forward to involve them in that process. Over the last couple of weeks, we have seen public announcements about the Pitsea Community Diagnostic Centre. The governance arrangements for that have been established, representing a step forward in the progress. The development agreement is due in the coming weeks. I want to assure members that I will continue to monitor the library arrangements that are taking place, with Pitsea Library being relocated to Vange and mobile libraries being put in place. Officers I know have been speaking to officers at Essex County Council who are responsible for the libraries to see the mitigation measures that they're putting in place, alongside Councillor McGurran. And want to assure residents across the borough that we will continue to monitor the usage of the libraries to make sure that if other mitigation measures need to be put in place to ensure that residents across Pitsea need access to a library, that we will be standing with them to ensure that those steps are taken. I also want to be able to thank the community groups that I visited over the borough over the last few weeks. There's been a significant number of visits that have taken place, and I know other members have also joined in those. And I think it's appropriate on World Mental Health Day today to be able to thank the organisations and services across the borough that provide mental health support to our residents for their work, and look forward to continuing working with them over the coming year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Eku.
Thank you. So I have an update around procurement of a strategic data partner. So when I first took over this portfolio, I quickly recognised that to be able to achieve the goals around data, we need a thorough understanding of where we currently stand in our data journey, We knew that to be effective, we need to make sure that every single decision we make is based on accurate, timely and well-analysed data. So I'm thrilled to announce that we have officially procured a strategic data partner to help us with the first part of this mission. While I can't reveal the specifics tonight, I can assure you that we are working with leading experts to build a next generation data infrastructure. So this partnership is that pivotal first step. The partner will conduct a comprehensive review of our data landscape. So that means they will examine what data we currently have, they will assess the quality of the data, they will identify any gaps, and they will help us to create a roadmap to bridge those gaps. As part of the review, they will also provide detailed technology recommendations, and they will also provide us with a supporting business case to help us to secure further funding for future investments. So this work will help us to establish a solid foundation into specific dashboard infrastructure, one that will allow members and officers alike to drill down into very specific areas, wards, ensuring that decisions that we are making are backed by solid, actionable data. What makes this announcement even more special is that we've managed to secure this at no cost to the council. So I'm really proud to announce that we have secured funding from Microsoft, who will be supporting this crucial piece of work. This is a fantastic achievement as it allows us to take this important step without it tugging at the council's resources. Another milestone I'm excited to announce is that we have also successfully signed a data sharing agreement with the NHS. This agreement is a game changer for us when it comes to a data perspective. It means that for the first time, we will have access to health data about our residents. It is a vital asset because it will help us to shape the interventions that we put forward. It will help us to make sure that our services are truly meeting the needs of the community. And the health data will enable us to understand challenges as they arise, and to be able to design policies and services that are responsive and effective. So imagine having a Basildon where we are proactively identifying and supporting those who are at higher risk, and we're able to do that long before those issues become urgent. And that's what this partnership truly underscores. It's about our commitment to this innovative, resident-centred decision-making. So we're making strides on our data journey. We have a lot more that we need to do, and I will keep you updated over the months as we make more progress.
Excellent. This is what a dynamic 21st century council looks like. Thank you, Councillor Coop. Councillor McGeorge?
Thank you. I'm going to speak for a lot less than the other two. I'd just like to remind residents that we do have our consultation on the Public Spaces Protection Order. You have until the 21st of this month to fill out. If you can't get online, you can call the council offices and you'll be able to speak to an advisor, and they can fill out a form for you. So please make sure that you have your say, as that's going to shape the future that we have here. Thank you.
Thank you once again for the way in which we're engaging with our residents on such an important issue. Councillor Power.
Thank you. I just have a few updates since my announcement at the last full council. We've had lots of really exciting business engagement and growth and skills interventions in the last month or so. So last week we saw over 1,500 residents attend the Basildon Skills Show. Schools were invited to attend throughout the day and engage with employers, training providers, colleges and universities to hear about the opportunities on our doorstep and to help them plan their next steps. The model we had of inviting schools to come for time periods throughout the day also allowed us to ensure this was an inclusive event and ensured time for our SEND pupils to engage with the event. So a massive success, and thank you so much to the officers and all of the officers across the council that supported that and made sure it was a really successful event. I do know only too well the work that goes into those events, so seeing the success and hearing the great feedback we've had from residents in the schools and the teachers has been fantastic. Last week we also launched the Basildon New Futures. This was the start of a new vision we have for the regeneration of Basildon Town Centre. This event was a resounding success, inviting investors, architects, landowners and businesses together to shape our ambitious plans. We had a great panel of experts led by Baroness Angela Smith of Basildon, and we are looking forward to the ongoing conversations we get to have around and be part of this journey. In September, we also launched the Basildon Business Boost programme. This is a UK SBF funded project to support local businesses with peer-to-peer support, workshops, business expertise and a focus on business growth. So far we have delivered 2 in-person workshops around access to funding for startups and innovation of products and new services. We've also had a webinar around women in business. We've had 24 attendees to these events, and we're working through the application for the business grants as well. It's really exciting to see the take-up of the support that we can offer, and we're continuing to drive the entrepreneurial spirit we have across the borough. From all of this work as well, these businesses have managed to create 3 jobs within their companies, and we're actively supporting that ongoing process, and their jobs around admin, a junior estate agent, and marketing as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Power. It's great to see that we are addressing those skills gaps, supporting our residents, but also looking to our future and the stakeholders that can engage with that future. Councillor Smith, did you have something that you wanted to announce? Thank you.
It would be rude of me not to say something. I'm a traditionalist and I save my announcements for full council. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Councillor McGowan, did you have something this evening?
Yeah, thank you very much. Sadly, my parents couldn't afford a middle name for me, but if they had, it would probably have been Brevity. So there you go. Anyway, the waste consultation process, as you know, came to a conclusion at the end of September. We had almost 8,000 responses, which is truly phenomenal. I'd like to thank all the residents that took the time and effort to respond. I'd like to point out that we also, I'd like to thank James and his team for going the extra mile, and we again listen to residents because issues about online, so there's a number of options for residents to complete the surveys offline, including paper copies in libraries, which didn't have a massive take-up, but was there for those that needed it. The real work now is going on in terms of establishing what the residents actually want. We will analyse that fully, and we will come up with a service that suits our residents. And I am hoping we will be bringing something to Cabinet in November to tell you exactly how we're going to do that. It's full speed ahead anyway. And in other good news, there was a bit of a kerfuffle last year, if you remember. I think Councillor Blake will probably remember, about the fact that the garden waste collection stopped for 6 weeks over Christmas. According to the plans for this year, that is also the scenario. Again, I'd like to thank James and his team for the enormous work they've put in, because I can announce tonight that the shutdown of the green garden waste collection over the Christmas period will be only 3 weeks. We are halving the period the green bins won't be collected, and it will be literally the Christmas and New Year period only. And quite frankly, unless people in Billericay might want to listen here, if you can't manage without the green bin collected for 3 weeks over that period, there's something wrong with your life. You should be doing other stuff other than filling your green bins at that point of the year. Thank you.
Unless your oak trees fall really late like it did last year and you're picking them up, having to clear them up for your neighbours. Anyway, moving forward.
Even if they do, Councillor Brown, it's half the period, so
I appreciate that. I don't have many announcements this evening, just to say that the local plan is still on track to go out to Reg 18 in November as planned. We've met today and finalised the comms programme, and I'm really pleased to announce that already we have a way of 45,000 of our residents have already engaged with the council in such a way that they are already going to be receiving email feedback and ways in which they can continue to engage with the council, and that comms process has now been finalised. We have a way of going out to residents, we have a way of residents being able to come into the council, we have a way to support residents who do not want to go online. So I just want to reassure Cabinet members that there is a full plan in place of how we're going to be able to engage with all our residents across the whole borough to ensure that everybody can have their say on the future that the local plan can provide. Okay, moving forward, we are now on item agenda 6, which is the Cabinet Work Programme. Is there anybody that wishes to comment on that? Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you, Chair. As we heard from Councillor Yacoub, that tackling the health inequalities within the borough is incredibly important, and significant work is being undertaken to address that. Key to that is around how we use social prescribing. So I wish to bring forward a report to the December December Cabinet meeting as an item on our direction of travel and policy update with regards to social prescribing.
Yeah, I would be happy to support that if Karina can work her magic and get that on our list for December. Does anybody else have any items they wish adding for our work programme, or anything they wish to comment on the work programme? No? Well, with that, we will move on to item agenda 7, which is the Essex Waste Strategy, and that's Councillor McGowan. Thank you.
Yeah, again, I don't think I need to say too much, fortunately. It's a strategy. It's a strategy we broadly agree with, but it's a strategy. So you know, you could pick holes in it and say, you know, well, how are you going to achieve that? It doesn't always give the answers to that because it's a strategy. However, having said that, we did make one important amendment to it from a Basildon perspective, which I think we'll all agree with, which was to state clearly that whilst this administration doesn't necessarily have a problem with incinerators per se, when they work, when the technology is right, and when they're located in the right place, we don't feel, and we feel very strongly about this, there is no location in Basildon which is suitable for that, and we've made that very clear in signing up to the strategy. So I hope that will be acceptable to everyone. I'd be amazed if it wasn't.
Thank you. Councillor Baggott, did you want to come in at this point?
Only if I'm allowed to speak later as well, Chairman. I didn't want this to be the only.
Initially, Councillor Baggott, I'm giving you an opportunity now. I'm sure if something arises, I'm the sort of person that I'm going to include you, aren't I, obviously? But I'm giving you the opportunity now if there's anything you'd like to say.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. That's appreciated. I know you will, because you're always a fair and equitable chair lady. I just wanted to endorse everything that Councillor McGowan said, because he's absolutely right. I mean, the thing is with incineration is I accept that technology has moved on now, so the traditional way of how we incinerate isn't really the conventional incineration way. But as far as a space in this borough, there's absolutely nothing, and there's all the on-costs of the transport and everything else that goes with it. So I totally and heartily agree with Councillor McGowan for the first time in a long time.
Can I come back? Okay.
Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I beg for your leave that this vote can be split. I wholeheartedly support recommendation number 2, but recommendation number 1, I can't support, and you know I'm a county councillor. I disagree quite often with the cabinet member responsible for this at County Hall. I think me and him are definitely on 2 different slices of bread. And what sticks in my craw, they have this obsession at County that they can magic away refuse. It's nonsense. And I mean, when you go to page 37 of the report, it says by 2042, the amount of residual waste per person to 110 kilos per year. Well, sorry, we voted Brexit. I don't understand this kilos rubbish. What does 10 kilos, 110 kilos look like? I don't know. That's about the weight of 2 sacks of spuds. You know, it's about... No, is it more? 25. Yeah, it's the weight of 4 sacks of spuds. I don't know how you can do that. There's people with medical needs, and they need stuff. And is County going to say in 2042, hopefully this government abolishes it, but under this policy, households per person will be restricted to that punitive amount, whatever that looks like, 110 kilos. I don't disagree with them. And also their policy of 2030, banning the use of landfill in favour of incineration. Now, admittedly, they've got that contract just signed to burn all the rubbish in Braintree, and it's luckily James Cleverly got knocked out, because if he was PM, I'm sure he'd want that incinerator outside of Braintree and possibly in Basildon. And then the final thing I disagree with this Essex Waste strategy is just rabbiting on about climate change. Everyone is entitled to their views. If people believe this, that is their view. That's free speech and democracy. But I give people the majority view on this, yeah? And hopefully Donald Trump wins, and this will all go in the bin, and we can start repairing and regrowing our economy. So I'll happily support recommendation number 2, but Essex County Council's woke-driven, anti-conservative, green hippie policies I do not support.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. It'd be no surprise that I completely disagree with you. But moving forwards, Councillor McGowan, you said you wanted to come back in.
Yeah, I will if you don't mind. You couldn't make it up sometimes. I find myself... Thank you, Councillor Baggott, to be fair. Very kind of you to agree with me. It does happen occasionally from time to time, to be fair. Councillor Smith, well, I won't say too much about that, but what I will refer back to is no pun intended, we have been burned in Basildon in our experience of an incinerator. It was the wrong technology in the wrong place, you know, at the wrong time. And so one thing I do reflect on what Councillor Chris says. I share some of your cynicism about Essex County Council and their approach to this subject. But technology moves on. It does move on, and I think there is evidence that some of the, you know, I'm no expert, don't profess to be, but there is evidence that some of the modern incinerators are effective, do work, but they have to be in the right location, and Basildon is not the right location.
I think, you know, we could all completely agree with that. And what I would just remind all councillors is that this is a strategy, it is not a plan for how to get there. It's a set of goals and ambitions that we're signing up for, and I can't see why anybody wouldn't want waste reduction, wouldn't want things that make us have a cleaner planet, wouldn't want things that reduce waste, wouldn't want things that would help in order to improve the environment that we all live in. And that's what this strategy is talking about. Obviously, the huge problem comes around the fact that the ambition for landfill is quite a hefty ambition, and there isn't detail here on how we're going to get there. But we in Basildon are definitely going to play our part in ensuring that our residents are fully informed of how they can reduce their waste, how we collect their waste more effectively, and what that can look like. And I obviously wholeheartedly would echo the feelings of all councillors here tonight, including our Conservative colleagues in the back there, that we do not need, nor want, or will put up with another incinerator in Basildon. No, Kerry. Councillor Baggett, I said give you the opportunity to come back if you needed to.
Chairman, thank you. No, nothing to add. I concur with everything Councillor McGovern said. Again, you're right.
In order to respect Councillor Smith, I will allow a vote to be split here. We'll vote on recommendation 1 and then we'll vote on recommendation 2. All those in favour of recommendation 1? Those against? All those in favour of recommendation 2? Thank you. And with that, we will move on to item agenda 8. Item agenda 8, which is, oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, yeah, Councillor Powers. Sorry, I'd not written it there.
That's okay, thank you. So this administration has previously had plans and ambitions to bring a university technical college and higher education and further education options to the residents of Basildon. And from this work, the South Essex Council has brought forward the SEATS model. So this report introduces the South Essex Advanced Technical Skills, otherwise known as SEATS, model to the Cabinet and gives the history of its inception, funding and the delivery to date. Today, our economic development team have supported the SEATS team with opportunities to attend and speak at strategic events, collaborated on several events such as the Basildon Creative Tech Festival, and we've continued to introduce them to all of our local employers. We feel that we can go further to ensure the success and growth with 4 key interventions. So we wish to put forward this report tonight to conduct a local skills analysis of all of our businesses to help guide decisions in ongoing delivery and the areas of skills needs across the borough, help develop the brand and the marketing of SEATS, and to develop a digital toolkit and inquiry system or platform, and also to begin the feasibility of a key premises in the borough to bring together higher education on the doorstep of our residents. I recommend we endorse this proposal to help future-proof this delivery and add this to the broader skills development across the borough.
Thanks, Councillor Powers. Does Councillor Brockman, did you have anything you wanted to come in on this? No? Any other Cabinet members wishing to comment? Councillor Yacoub?
Thank you. Just to say that the prospect of having a South Essex University Hub in Basildon Town Centre is really exciting, and I'm really excited about the opportunities that it will bring to the residents of St Martin's, especially because I represent St Martin's and it's my ward. And I think it is right that we are following this kind of business development model where we're looking at the skills that we need and we're trying to make sure that we meet those skills needs and we take a proactive approach. So I'm really proud of that.
I mean, it's really exciting to see those key employers in the area who have engaged with this process, whether we're talking about Ford, we're talking about Southend Airport. They have skills that they need that at the moment they're not able to realise, and they're employing people outside our borough. We want to ensure that the growth that we have and that economic success is accessible to all within this borough. And having an education facility here within the borough is going to help to start to fill some of those skills, but also give many of our residents and those at the moment in education, you know, still in school, an aspiration that is close to home and that can be realised easily. Any other councillor? Oh, sorry, Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I mean, look, a business can go to any town if it's got the land. They can go anywhere in the world. So it's really important. We're one of the biggest economies on the Thames outside of London, that we have this facility there. The previous government and their fictitious levelling up, whatever that meant, this is going to do more about helping people who struggled at school, get a decent job, and also keep the businesses in the borough for the generous business rates it develops. And can I also add, don't let some officer call it SEAT, like the car.
I'm sure Councillor Powers will do her best. What I would say is, you know, it is about securing those jobs for the future, but securing jobs and skills that match. We know that we have a very unequal borough here. We have students that come out of school in that top 2% in the country, but we have a large amount of our students that come out in the bottom 10%. And having a leading education facility here in the town centre that can work with schools and that can hopefully be part of that journey to change that inequality of outcome across our borough. Councillor Powers, did you want to come back at all? No? Well, with that, I will take you to the recommendation. We just have one recommendation. It's at the bottom of page 59. I have to read it out, do I? No. All those in favour? Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to item agenda 9, which is Councillor Ferguson.
Exclusion of public and press, sorry.
Oh, I apologise, that's item agenda 10. We now need to exclude, sorry, item agenda 9 is excluding the press and public from this meeting. All those in favour? And thank you. And with that, we will be turning off our webcasting. Thank you.